I know cat behavior is such a huge topic, and everybody's cat probably has some weird quirk or some naughty behavior that they do. And sometimes we're like, what is this cat trying to tell me? Or what are they saying to us? What does that behavior mean? So, what is actually one thing you wish more cat parents understood about their cat's behavior that they often overlook?
So I think it would be that an unwanted behavior is not your cat being spiteful or bad or, trying to prove something. That's not their intention at all. That behavior that's unwanted by us is their way of communicating to us that something's not right. It could be a lot of things. They could be in pain, it could be a health issue, it could be emotional, it could be stress. And the first thing that I like to say is if there's a new behavior, to step back, what's changed in the household? And if nothing's, popping up, if it wasn't something obvious like, oh, well, I did just get a new cat. Because sometimes it is something super obvious like that, that we just don't actually just stop and think how that may have impacted the cat who's already there. So it's about just stopping, kind of just doing an overview and then checking with yourself. Like, well, what's been going on with me lately? How has my energy been? Have I been a little bit more stressed? Is there a big transition in my own life that I'm bringing to my cat? Because if you're going through something, it could be you could have lost a friend that didn't even know your cat, but you're feeling that and that energy is in your household. Your cat is feeling that too. And it might result in them peeing on your pillow. I mean, and it seems so far like you wouldn't connect those dots, but when you stop and look inward and just start to look at all the things that might be going on in your own life. It can help you determine what might be causing that behavior. And then you can approach it with more empathy as, oh, I am going through this and my energy is off. So let me spend some more intentional time playing with my cat. Like there's solutions to it. You can still grieve. Don't put your emotions to the side. You still should feel your emotions. But then how can you spend intentional time with your cat where you are showing them everything's okay? Because they are looking to us. We do provide them with, safety, security, a home, food, water. So if our energy is kind of like anxious, they're like, holy crap, are we in danger? What's going on? And it's like, okay, let's just slow down and like we're safe. It just is difficult right now. And just spending that extra intentional time with them can really shift that energy and help with that behavior.
Mm. Yeah, love that. So a couple things here. I remember my my previous cat, Nomar was the first cat that passed away. And so I was grieving, but I noticed a change in Mia at the time with her, just kind of her energy and her mood. And sometimes we don't think about like another cat can be grieving the loss of, their sibling that they had for 16 years. They were together for 16
Yeah.
years. All of a sudden, one's not there. So that was something that I was very aware of. Something I wasn't aware of until we actually spoke the first time was what you just mentioned. Our energy that we're bringing into the home could be affecting our cat's mood, our cat's energy, our cat's behavior. So if we've had a stressful day, let's
Yeah.
say, and we're bringing that into the home front, learning from you, that can affect how our cat is acting or what if our cat has anxiety or stress. I know for my previous cat, there was times where I had days where I was mad or angry or I might have lashed out at somebody, not thinking that that could actually affect my pets. I never crossed my mind. They may have run under the bed temporarily for a few
Right.
minutes, not thinking that that could have a long-term effect on their anxiety level. So glad you kind of brought that up again. And then you did mention something like maybe they need a play session. Reminding me, I was just kind of going over my interview with Dr. Rachel from the summit where we talked all about interactive play. And she said if a cat, for example, has a biting issue, like look to the human first, the pet parent, because a lot of times you're not interacting with your cat in a way that will satisfy their need to hunt. So she was going through that hunting or prey sequence when we play with our cats. So a lot of times, as you just kind of reinforce, it is us. And so we have
Yeah.
to kind of look and see what's going on in our lives as well.
And it's not to make anyone feel bad either. It's just about kind of stepping back and looking at what you're bringing to it and how you can adjust yourself so you don't have such a massive big human
Mhm.
energy footprint that's just because cats are very sensitive.
Yes. Yes. Just like I am.
Yeah, yeah, right, just like me too. And I think I'm part cat sometimes. So
Let's kind of dig into this a little bit more. How can cat parents start to better understand and meet their cat's emotional and energetic needs?
So I'm gonna use the M word and I get a lot of eye rolls, but meditation. Meditating with your cat is like step number one. And I like to start with just a 5-minute meditation
Mhm.
and then just observe them. Journaling is another big eye roll. I don't like journaling either, but writing down things that you notice day to day with them, whether it's, a behavior or a mood, or is there something new? Because you want to do like a nose to tail on them. So all of these things help you bond with them and connect with them, but you'll notice subtle changes and then you can start to put it together. Oh, when I go to Target and I have a really bad experience, and then I come home, my cat hides under the bed. Like there's things that you can start to piece together and adjust your own behavior. So before you even come home, you can adjust that behavior. You can kind of just wipe it off and walk
Mm.
in clean. And it can make a huge difference. But really, intentional play, intentional time with them is the biggest way to bond.
Well, if somebody has never meditated before, where should they start? Like, they may have never meditated with their cat, but let's say somebody has never meditated at all. How can we explain to somebody listening what that is and how they can begin?
So I think if you've never meditated before, I think the first step would be a walking meditation. They're probably my favorite meditation because I don't always just want to sit still. I like to be active. So if I do a walking meditation, I will set a goal like from here to that tree, and I'm going to find 3 blue things. So there's an intention, you're looking for something. So you're searching, you're looking at your surroundings. All of that really calms you down just to connect with nature. I find people that can't meditate. I mean, they tell me I can't meditate, I can't sit still, I can't quiet my mind. They really enjoy the walking meditation. So you can adapt this to whatever works for you. I mean, if you don't want to do a spot a blue thing, you can do something else like count 10 trees and then I can go home. But pick something, set a goal and then go for that. And then after you do that, just go to YouTube. I mean, I know you have meditations, I have meditations, but even just to search on YouTube for 5 minute meditation to quiet my mind. You can put very specific things and get a guided meditation. Start practicing that. And then you can just start looking at like sound healing. So when you've learned a little bit more about meditation and you don't need someone to guide you through how to quiet your mind, you can just listen to sound meditations where it's vibrations that are actually just bringing your nervous system down.
Yeah.
There's so much.
I love the idea of going outside and trying to look for things because, like you said, the big challenge I've heard for people who have trouble meditating is that they can't quiet their minds. They're always thinking. So I do
Mhm.
recommend we start with something like that. Leave
Yeah,
your phone behind so you're not tempted to
exactly.
look at it because your phone can cause some anxiety there and
Yeah.
do something like Melissa said, look for different things like things that are the color blue. The other things you could do is like sometimes I've recommended people like, they spot a leaf and they just start studying the leaf for 60 seconds. Just notice all the shapes and spots and things on that, or the sounds even as well. So if there's birds chirping, I love to just get lost in the sounds of birds singing. That could be very meditative as well.